Well, good night to all of you. How are you doing? We're here tonight for another episode of Advancing the Cause. I know that you miss me when I'm not here, but I did explain to you why, I'm on every other week. But tonight I'm here, today, Labor Day. So I'm here with you tonight because we're going to be laboring. Let me say welcome to all those who are going to be viewing us for the first time. Um, it's always a pleasure to have new viewers on. And of course, we can't have Advancing the Cause if we don't have our regular suspects on here. So good night to all of you. Helen Collins, good night to you watching us from Burbies. Julie, watching us from where I'm not sure where Julie is watching us from. We have Marcia Jackman, we have Pamela McKenzie, we have Rishi, we have every single one watching us. I have, of course, we have the folks from Jamaica who are watching us. We have the folks from Switzerland, Turkey, Nepal, some new ones from Nepal coming in and they're watching us. And so we have Cheryl Gibson watching us too. And so to all of you, those of our friends in the UK and those of our friends in the USA and in Canada, thank you for always being here with us. And so tonight we're going to be, tonight we're looking at women and the challenges that women face. And this doesn't only happen in the education sector or in the political sector, but every single where, in every sphere, women face challenges. But you know what's important that we're going to talk about tonight is how we as women override these challenges that we face. But before I go into this, of course, I got to give you some updates. And so GPL has announced the arrival of the power ship. They've announced that. And so I'm hoping that with this announcement, we are going to not have so many blackouts. And I can tell you, these blackouts have been doing us good, They haven't been doing us good. And again, I want to say to you, we got to miss the coalition. We got to miss the coalition when these things happen, because during the coalition's stint in office, you and I know that we can count on our fingers how many times we had power outages. So here, GPL has announced the arrival of the power ship, which will be connected to the national grid to assist GPL in meeting the electricity demands in the country for the next 2 years. So for the next 2 years, we're supposed to have so many blackouts. We're supposed to have fairy lights for the next 2 years. As long as that has been hooked up, we're not going to be having it. And so today we had Labor Day, and Labor Day was grand. Of course, Labor Day is the day that gives workers the right to say what they want, to sing what they want, to put on their placards what they want, because that's the freedom of workers that workers have on Labor Day without, much fear. Let me say much fear of being victimized. So we got the ship there. I don't know if operator, can you show us that ship if you have it there? Maybe you can show us that ship that is coming down there. That's the ship that we paid a whole lot of plenty monies for. That's the ship that held the payments for teachers. Let me say that, because teachers couldn't get paid. But let me say to you while we're looking, yes, here comes the ship. Let's see this ship. Let's see the ship. We're gonna be having the ship in a few. That's the ship that will help to ease. Let me say help to ease the blackout situation, because it ain't gonna stop now. Don't fool yourself. The blackouts will continue for a while. It ain't gonna stop now. And then while we're waiting to get the ship on board, I must tell you that there was a fire at President's College 2 days ago, I think it was. This is the ship that we're having here now. Let me see, I think we're gonna be having the ship coming up now. Right. This is the ship that's going to ease the blackout woes for us. This is a ship that's going to ease the blackout woes for us. I can't. Is how much million we spent for that? How much millions of US we spent for this ship? I'm hoping that we are going to get our money's worth, and that this will not be the 17 reconditioned, brand new second-hand generator that only 8 kick in starting. That is what I mean, and 4 are working. I hope this ship doesn't turn out like that. And these are just my thoughts, and you can't blame me for having these thoughts, because we've been having it happening. Once you have the PPP, we have Vorna Alexander watching us from Atlanta. Vorna, good night to you and everybody else in the home circle. Night. Raquel, you are there watching us from Queens, and you're saying good night, Queens and Kings. Good night to you, Raquel. Yes, so this is the ship that is going to ease the blackout situation that we're having all across the country. Mabel is watching us from New Jersey too. And like I'm saying, we've had experiences with these ships that they bring, and these barges and all kind of thing that they bring, generators and so on, and we haven't been having money's worth. So we have to talk about them. But I was saying, the President's College, and this is the President's College. I'm sure that the operator would be able to pull President's College up for us in a while. But this is the President's College, the School of Excellence. We had a fire there that was started in the male dorm. I'm hoping that the education minister, who's always up and about Facebook, well, I noticed she eats off of Facebook. Somebody probably tells you something. I'm hoping that they're putting all the necessary precautions in place so that we're not going to have a Madia at President's College on the East Coast. At Golden Grove, we're not going to have Ahmadiyya there. So please put every single system in place so that we're not going to have what transpired a few months ago. We're not going to have it. We're not going to have it here at President's College. Fix it right. Fix it right. Go there and talk to the students. If the students are having issues, talk with them. If the teachers are having issues, and I know that the teachers got plenty issues. Plenty issues I know the teachers there got. The students are having issues too. Mildew bread, late food, no water, rats running, all kinds of things happening at President's College. So y'all go fix it right. Saddam Hussein, go out there, fix it right. I don't care what you say. Fix it right. You're the chief education officer. I'll make it right. And don't think you're going to throw under the bus the new Redo that just gone there. The new young man that has been confirmed Redo. Don't think you're going to throw him under the bus. So come fix it right now. Fix it right. If you have to call in parents to talk to them about their students or about their children, do it. Call them in. Put the systems right. I noticed Priya went flunks herself today. I can tell you all about that one a little later. But like I said earlier, this is President's College, the School of Excellence, and we don't want to hear foolishness happening there because we ain't gonna take sorry. I mean, they didn't tell them folks sorry the other day. And we ain't gonna take. The government didn't have to do it. According to the Attorney General, the government didn't have to do it. But I'm bad. Before I go forward, let me introduce my guest. My guest tonight, we're supposed to have 2 guests on tonight. We're supposed to have Miss Melissa Atwell. But while she's going to be coming on at some point, we have here Miss Kimone Gentle. Miss Kimone Gentle is going to tell you something about herself. I'm not going to talk for her. She's going to tell you something about herself. So Miss Kimone Gentle, before I go further, she's a teacher and today's Labor Day. So Miss Gentle, tell our audience something about you.
Thank you very much, Madam Coretta McDonald. Good night, and thanks for having me on your show tonight. Good night to the viewers at large from near and far. It's an honor to be on this show tonight to speak to the world about women and their empowerment.
And the challenges they face and how they override those challenges.
Yes, there are challenges.
But tell us, who's Miss Gentle?
Go ahead. Who is Miss Gentle? A female, of course, a teacher by profession who has been in the education system for 18 years, a mother of 2 boys.
Good. So this is Miss Gentle saying hi to us. She's going to be our guest tonight. and she is going to tell us about some of the challenges that women have faced, or the challenges that women face all the time, and how we override the challenges. But let me say to you, today was May Day, and today workers gathered all across this country to celebrate a day that was fought for by the father of trade unionism, Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow. As a matter of fact, we started off on Sunday at Parliament, the courtyard of Parliament building. In front of we had the statue of Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow there, where we had the wreath-laying ceremony, and we had our women there speaking out on issues of trade unionism and what we expect from our workers and so on. And so today we had the marches and we had the rallies. Of course, again, once you have the PPP in place, you're going to have division. So we had 2 workers' day rallies in Georgetown, rather than having one like we were having between 2015 and 2019 or somewhere there. We had 2 again. We gone real. We moving all the time backwards, plenty step we taking backwards. So we had the 2 rallies. One went to the National Park, and of course, the Guyana Trade Union Congress and its affiliates, we used the GTU's venue this year. And of course, you saw the teachers there marching, postal workers marching, CCW workers marching, the workers from the Bauxite Union, and all the teachers and everybody else you saw there marching. Of course, I want to say thank you to our the leader of the opposition, who took time off to march with the workers today. And of course, quite a lot of our MPs were there. And I want to say thank you so much for coming out and walking with us, because we know that you understand the challenges we face. And so that was what happened at Labor Day today. But while we were having these rallies, the marches and so on, of course, the side shows we are going to have. So the side show for the day was brunch at State House, where we had, these people ain't got no shame. No shame whatsoever these people ain't get. Ali, Jag, well, Jag, you ain't got no shame. Ali ain't got no shame. Priya ain't got no shame. We got a labor minister who's confused, he's mad, he's crazy, because he ain't got no shame either. Could you imagine on Labor Day, Workers' Day, you were separating the workers? So they had, I don't know how many workers they had there, but I saw nurses there in their uniforms. They had teachers who they pinpoint, selected. Not teachers who said, well, I want to go. Teachers who they identified. And some of the teachers, because of fear of victimization, some of them went there. But I want to tell you about this. This brunch today is happening just on the heels of a decision that was made by a judge. The GTU had to go to court for the judge to tell this government that they're wrong to teachers when they threatened to cut teachers' salaries. And of course, they stopped the deduction of the dues and the remittance of the dues. Now, you see some of the people there, they ain't even know where they're there. They ain't really concentrating on what's happening there. I'm here because you brought us here. I want to say to this government, if nothing else, y'all must just allow your consciences to bother you. Imagine our teachers in Madia, our teachers in Port Kaituma, our teachers coming from Moruca, our teachers coming from Mabaruma, quarantine all over the place. But especially I want to talk about our teachers coming from Madia and Lethem, Region 9. These same people, when the teachers request to fly out from those places, when school is closed, they deny them those privileges. But today, they could find airfares. They could pay airlines. They could pay the airline or airlines to fly those teachers out. Wickedness don't last for long, and I want this government to understand. Wickedness don't last for long. Could you imagine some of our teachers from the coast who have decided to go and work in the hinterland? When it's time for them to return home after school would have been closed, they can't find monies to pay for the ticket, the plane ticket. They got to juggle the bus and come through the trail. Pregnant teachers too. And then today, After you had teachers on the streets for 29 days, you hosting teachers at a brunch now as if teachers are hungry bellies. You can't pay the nurses, but you're hosting them at a brunch as if they're hungry bellies. Y'all have no shame whatsoever. None. None shame y'all ain't got. Huh? And you hosting people, I would have expected that when you hosted them there, each one of them would have been leaving there with a check for some $300,000 or something, or some house lot, or something else you're leaving there with. You're feeding them as if that they're so bad. Well, I could understand that because that's how you got them, that they're bad, so they come to eat a little bit of fancy food, wherever the fancy tasteless food is. Because I heard a few comments from some of them say was a waste of time them going there because some of the food got no taste. Well, this is what the PPP government is about. No taste. They have no taste. But we ain't gonna lament too much on the. Well, of course, I can't get invited to go there, and of course, I ain't want to go there because after you would have had me in the sun for 29 days, I ain't coming to smile nowhere with you. And so they pick and choose the teachers who they wanted to go. Pick and choose some of the teachers who they wanted to go. But I ain't already beat up on those teachers. I ain't already beat up on them because quite a lot of them, when they're out of fear, quite a lot of them when they're out of fear. But we're going back to what we started talking about, women overriding challenges. But we got to talk about these things. Before I go to women overriding challenges, I want to share on this one quickly. These Venezuelans that we got in this country, I have no difficulty with them. We have no difficulty with them. But we want to know all these Venezuelans that the PPP giving ID cards to. I want to understand what is the process. Somebody must come out and tell us what's the process. They must show us a couple of the application forms that they're applying on to become citizens or whatever they're applying on. Show us the information because we know that you're going to want to use them to prop up the list for elections, but you're going to fix it right. You're going to fix it right. All these Venezuelans who you're sucking up to, could you imagine? We got Venezuelans in our countries. I ain't talking about the Guyanese who went how many years to live in Venezuela. I'm talking about the real Venezuelans. We got issues with them because they're fighting for our exequable. But you know what this government is doing? They're sucking up to the Venezuelans because they want to give them free ID cards and they can go and vote for you. But you're going to fix those lists right. And then we're hearing that while we're going to be looking on the list for Hernandez and Jose and whoever, we ain't going to see them. We're going to see Marianne Luke, Christina Paul. We hear the story already, so don't feel you're going to come to us with that. We want to hear from Minister Robeson then. What's the process? Tell us how far you are at. Tell us how many Venezuelans you've given ID cards and so on to tell us about that. Tell us about that. This so-called jokey government that we got, they will do anything to remain in power. So you're going to fix it right. You're going to fix it right. And then you know what we had today? What we're going to talk about too? Just in passing, these contract awards. These contract awards. The process is messy. We saw that when Guyanese Critic got that contract for 800 and whatever million or whatever dollars it is worth the contract. We saw how messy that is. You're not going through with these the procedure, If teachers got to get a child into a school, it's a whole big long runaround story. But these contracts, you're awarding them blam, 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 blam to friends and families. People who ain't got no experience getting contracts. And you know what? With many, many of those contracts, they're asking for extension. They're asking for more monies to finish these contracts. Hey, will you fix this business right? Fix this business right because we got to get it right. I understand what this government is doing. They want to grab and grab and grab so that they can secure themselves, that even if they come out of government, they set right. But many of those properties and so on that you get, you're going to answer for them. You're going to answer for them. We want to tell you again about the Venezuelans. Again, this government focusing on these Venezuelans. We got our people here who's starving, but y'all is shipping in food in some of the interior locations to give to our people or giving our people on the coast, but you're shipping it into the hinterland to give to the Venezuelans. You're giving them housing, you're giving them food, you're making going to school for their children a priority. But our children are here and you're not doing that. But y'all better fix this business right. Y'all better fix this business right. There is one with the contract. This 82 million is $82 million more they want for this contract. When I remember it, I'll tell you the contract costs a certain amount of monies, and then they're asking again for more monies for this contract. But I'll get this project that they're doing. Minister Robeson Ben, you again. Imagine you ban Skeng wherever they buy name, from this country, the Jamaican artist, and bam, one lashing you face, Charles Ramson, bring you back here. Ha! Robeson Ben, you have no authority, none whatsoever, because I didn't see anything that said you would have lifted the ban on, what your name? Skeng, whatever is his name, I am a key. But imagine Robeson Ben, the Minister of Home Affairs, ban that young man from performing in Guyana. I didn't hear anything. I ain't seen no documentation that said that ban was lifted, but I see Skeng was back in Guyana performing in Linden. He went to perform in Linden. He was performing, and then when he go to perform in Linden, you know the people in Linden. I gotta say shout out to the people in Linden. Big shout out to the people in Linden. We ain't going to no show because you depriving us, the government, of many benefits that we're supposed to have. You're discriminating against us, so we ain't going to no show. And because the people didn't go to the show, and the people went to Tropical Reflections at the Five Corner, y'all go and stop. You use the police force, not the Guyana political force you're going to use to tell the DJ stop the music. And when the DJ decide, well, I ain't going to stop it, I'm going to turn down the music. And you said, no, stop it. And then you arrested the DJ. And when the owner went there to find out about his DJ, you harassed and assaulted him. And there's a video to show. We're going to show that video before the end of this program. You see this nonsense with police brutality? You see this nonsense that the police going on with? It gonna stop, Let me say to you, that young man is somebody's son. He's somebody's father. He's somebody's brother. He's somebody's uncle. A respectable businessman like that, you got the police kicking up on the man is on the ground and y'all kicking him up. And then you're going to say that the young man started a fight with a police officer in the station. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine a man is in the station and he going to fight a police officer when they got a whole lot of police ranks around him? Guyana police force, y'all better start shaping up and fly right. Because it seems as if you want this country to return to the 2000 days. I mean, Barajag, they're going to like that. But we don't want that. You remember those days when policemen were scared to put on their uniform? They didn't want anybody to know that they were police. Don't agitate people, Don't aggravate the people in this country. I would wish that young man would clap a good lawsuit in y'all. So now we hear they got the rank on the close arrest. They got him on the close arrest. But we can talk a little more about that. But like I said, back to women overriding challenges. I was going to vent my feelings when I come on this program. Okay. Because the thing is, he could have been your son. He could have been your husband, your baby father, your brother. Yeah. And to see him lying on the ground there and police ranks coughing away and kicking away. Yeah. And that's where you got feet for to kick people? Absolutely. Something should go wrong with them legs that the policeman got.
Absolutely not. It is wrong.
And I'm going to say to you, my viewers, we got to start praying for some of these people. We got to start praying for some of them. I'll show you the video at the end of this program, but we got to start praying for some of these policemen. They have no etiquette whatsoever, none. Sometimes they just rail up to me, but when I give them the attitude, they just straighten up and fly right. Some of them have no training whatsoever, and maybe because the head is rotten, so we have that kind of thing happening down the line. But they have no decency whatsoever, not courteous, some of them. I mean, these are the kind of police ranks that gives the entire police force a bad name. But before I go to women overriding challenges, I must say good night to my friend Priya Manik-Chan, the Minister of Education. Priya, you're going to fix me business. See if you find Priya anyway, then let me see Priya's face. Priya, you're going to fix me business. I know Priya to say that I'm obsessed with her. And very often I usually have to remind Priya that I don't do girls. I don't do girls. So Priya, you're gonna fix the business for us. Must fix the business fix that business at President's College, and fix the business at Success Primary School in Legwan. Fix the business at St. John's Primary in Bartica. Fix the business at West Rumvelt Primary. I can't leave out West Rumvelt. New building, whole week, no water. So all the toilets, the cleaners got to flush it, fetch water to flush, and the children got to fetch water to flush. And then we got a Redo who sent a teacher on administrative leave without pay. He ain't learned yet. You can't send people on administrative leave without pay. Stop the story. If you don't know, go back to school. Stop being a Redo. And these are the people who they promote, like how they select Saddam and Meki CEO. Instead of pulling some of them. Redo fixed the business with that teacher. As a matter of fact, that young teacher is a trainee teacher. She's at college, and she has missed her teaching practice. You're not going to be the cause of her having to do an entire year over because of your foolishness. So fix it. But let's talk about women overriding challenges as we plan to talk about. So Ms. Gentle, I know that you can tell us of some of the challenges that you've been through. And we can talk about other women who have been through challenges, but they're overriding those challenges. You want to share as a teacher, what are some of the challenges that you have been through?
Great, thank you. So some of the challenges I have been through as a teacher is first, oversized classroom.
Oversized classrooms.
Yes, highly populated school. We have facilities that are not conducive for learning.
Wow.
And as a teacher, it's very challenging.
So are you saying to us that is still happening?
It is happening.
It is happening,
yes,
as we speak. So after we would have had a $1.146 trillion budget, we're still having overcrowded classrooms.
That's true.
We're still having schools with chalkboard dividing them, you're saying?
Yes.
So this is Guyana, this is the 10th richest country in the world.
According to research.
And the new Dubai of the Caribbean, this is what our teachers have to experience. But tell me, how do you override those challenges with overcrowded classrooms, having to divide your classes by a screen? How do you override those challenges?
Good question. The only way I'm able to override those challenges is the love I have for the job.
Wow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for the love for teaching, I would have been one of the teachers who just go because I'm being paid.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the Ministry of Education is looking for, They're looking to have teachers just going there to get a salary because you got another job. So you go there and you just laze around. And that's what they're looking to have us do as teachers. But we're not going to do that. We are committed to this.
We are.
Yes, and that is why I think you were out there on the industrial action for the last 29 days.
Yes, 29 days, because I stood with my colleagues in education because I want to see change. Mm-hmm. I want to see other women rise up so we can stand and let our voices be heard, how we feel, how we want to see things go. Mm-hmm. Too often we speak about democracy in Guyana, but my question is, where is democracy?
Where is the democracy?
Yeah, where is it?
Well, we might have to ask either Barra Jabdio or Irfan or maybe Priya that question. Where is the democracy? Because I remember Priya was the girl who was speaking out loud in 2020. We are fighting for democracy, and there was a group called Guardians of Democracy. I don't know where they are right now. The D probably drop off and something else. So they're crazy right now. But the challenges as a woman in and we can say safely in a man's world. Yeah. You are now at a school and you're head of department, you're saying?
Senior mistress.
You're a senior mistress, which is equivalent to a head of department. Yes. And when you look at your salary as compared to some of your colleagues in the Caribbean, and as a woman, how do you mambo, like we would say, with that kind of salary and the cost of living?
It's very challenging. And while we were on industrial actions, one of our slogans that many persons didn't subscribe to, it says that we as teachers, we have to take a side man or something to that effect. But the fact is, our salaries is meager. It cannot suffice the fluctuation of prices in Guyana. And so teachers have no other choice but to have a side hustle. We have no other choice.
And some of those side hustles, I've seen some of them. I've seen teachers selling sugar cake in school,
Yes.
icicle,
Yes.
fudge, teachers going out there, and some of them even buying sharpener and erasers and so on.
To bring in a small income to add to what you're getting.
And as a woman, I mean, you have to be there every day. You have to cook for your children. You have to get them to work or to school, and then you have to get to work. How do you face these challenges?
By the mercy of God, God's mercy, because Madam J.S., it's very challenging and to say how. For me, I do it on a day-to-day basis because it has to be done. But I just do it. There's nothing there to enjoy. You have the challenges. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it today. I'm going to just skip this. I'm going to go to B. And then because I can't do A and B together. So I'm going to skip A, jump to B, and then some other time come back to A.
Oh, wow.
It's very difficult.
So you're playing hopscotch.
Yes.
I wonder if the Minister of Education could play hopscotch. Because, I keep saying it all the time. I am wondering whether these ministers would, for 1 month, exchange their salaries with public servants so you would understand how public servants feel when they have to live with the meager salaries that you agree to pay them. The meager salaries that you agree to pay them. How are public servants able to survive in this country? Gas prices up, and I keep repeating, in Upper Mars, our teachers there and other public servants, $18,000 for a bottle of gas, $5,000 for a packet of, $8,000 for a packet of rice, $1,500 for a pound of beef. I mean,
and when you look at the out-of-town allowances, it's nothing to talk about. The hard-line allowances and so forth. Those expenses.
Well, that's another story.
Yeah.
I wonder whether the CEO would be able to exchange his salaries. Because let me tell you what, the CEO got a big fancy package that went his way, Okay. He got a big fancy package. He's on contracts, so it's big fancy monies he's getting. And I don't understand, the CEO was just a teacher the other day. And now he's a big guy in terms of the package that he's receiving. I'm wondering if one of these days he would want to exchange his salary with one of his colleagues from the school that he just came from.
I can attest to something that you spoke about earlier. Teachers who are working in the hinterland who have to come through the trail because the government claims that they don't have money to pay airfare. I would have been there. I personally wrote a letter to that effect, asking why. And I was told we cannot afford it. Having to sit in a minibus for 14 and 12, in my time, 16 hours, 20 hours.
Because the road wasn't proper.
Very bad. It was very bad. It is challenging.
And so, these are the challenges that not only women have to go through, but women override these challenges. And here we have Miss Gentle, who thought she has the experience of teaching in the hinterland. But you know what? Because of her love and dedication for this job, she was able to override the conditions that was prevailing there. Tell us about what your experience there.
In the hinterland?
In the hinterland as a woman.
Terrible. Having gone there, then is when I realized, you know what? I need to appreciate life, because to see what my colleagues would have gone through there, they don't have many things, many amenities they don't have. Like the basic necessities, for me, I hadn't a chair set. I hadn't a proper chair. I left my family and my comfort. And I was placed into an apartment that had literally nothing.
So you're saying that when you went to this school, you went to a school,
And I
you
secondary.
applied for promotion.
Yes.
You went there.
Yes.
And the teachers' quarters you're talking about?
Yes, very disgusting to see.
And so this is reminding me of what transpired with Miss, trying to remember her, Miss Wilson, the teacher. She was HM of Christchurch Secondary. And before she became HM of Christchurch Secondary, she applied to go to Madia Secondary. And there was absolutely nothing in that apartment. For a woman leaving her home on the coast and going out there, actually nothing in that apartment. And when she made noise about it, as a matter of fact, she was sleeping. We saw the pictures there where she was sleeping in a hammock. And this is what and where we are taking education. This is where we are taking education. This is what education is all about. It's disgusting.
Very.
And as a woman, you had to be there, being a man and a woman.
Oh, yes.
Trying to
make ends meet.
To make ends meet in
I want to allude to something though. During my stint there, there wasn't any form of electricity.
Oh.
But the then administration, the Granger administration, one time they visited and we had the students wrote a letter and they submitted that letter to him.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, he responded.
Mm-hmm.
And they were given panels.
Solar panels. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
And that's what we call care. That's what we talk about.
Certainly.
That's what we call care.
Certainly.
And that's what we talk about when we talk about love. That's love. All the years that school was there, and this is Anai Secondary. Anai Secondary.
Yes.
And I hear Priya and her friends talk about, the coalition when they were in office, they never built one secondary school. And we have to remind them that we couldn't build a secondary school during the full 3 years that we had there and the one and whatever year, quarter year that we had there, because much of the time had to be spent rectifying the bad works that they did on those secondary schools and primary schools. Plenty bad work, and we all know them. Look, and secondary, no electricity, but you expect the school to function effectively. In the teachers' quarters, you don't got no electricity, but thank God for the Granger's government. They were able to put up solar panels there. So Priya, I understand that you don't get it right, but understand now why we couldn't go out there to build secondary schools, because we had to be fixing all of those defects in the schools that you were there for 23 years and you couldn't fix. You couldn't get them right. So we have to be straight. And Rahim, I don't know what you're talking about being racist. I don't know what is being racist. It's a fact. And this is what y'all don't like. It's a fact. And if you don't like it, get off my program. It's a fact. I don't understand what's being racist about that.
I have pictures.
We're talking about what is really happening, and you talking about being racist. You know what's being racist? Jadvio get the police to lock up the girl to hold on to Chevon Eastman with handcuff and dragging her in the mud. And then Jadvio talking foolishness about it. You know what's being racist? You check the contracts that are being issued. You talking about being racist? Why go hang yourself or go listen to Barry Jadvio press conferences on Thursday. But I will continue to speak about it. You check the contracts and see if you have a list of 20 contractors, you check and see how many are Afro-Guyanese or how many are Amerindians. You check it and see. But you just crazy. I figure you were a child. You're a product from the No Child Left Behind. But as we were saying, my dear, the challenges you face and how you override those challenges. There's so many women who were before us, who made so many sacrifices, who gave their life and their service to this country. And we've seen them being stagnated, quite a lot of them. We've seen how they are riding some of these challenges. And I want to start off with talking about, because it's Labor Day, I want to start off by talking about Madam Jean Persico, the late Jean Persico. She served as a minister. She served as president of the Guyana Teachers Union. Yeah. And of course, she was able as a woman operating in a man's world, she was able to override the challenges, and she stood out there as she also served as president, I think, of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, and so these are women who we can look up to, because they have shown us what it means to make sacrifice, and how you can emerge as a giant with those sacrifices. I'm sure you have some other women that you would want to share with us.
Sure. We have a cadre of women, Agnes, Ben Curtin, Jean Persico. Yes, those are some of the women who would have override challenges. And we even have you, Madam Coretta McDonald. We have seen your robust fight for the working class of people.
Even though people like wherever you name, they talk about me being racist and it's political. I don't know when teachers get in a little bit of monies, and you talk about it, how political, how that is political. And mind you, this government, they're lopsided, because when they were in opposition, they were fighting for the teachers, and they recognized then that teachers weren't getting enough monies, nurses weren't getting enough, policemen weren't getting enough, and we hadn't oil then, but we got oil now, and they're giving us 6.5.
Which certainly cannot work.
Of course it can't.
It cannot work. And so to name some other women, you would have mentioned Avril Crawford. We have Susan Moore, Chandrawati Impasad. And we just recently at the Rita Lane ceremony, we had Miss Mariska Williams, first Vice President of the Ghana Teachers Union. We had
Mahela McCallum. Yeah, so these are some of the women who we have seen, they're overriding all these challenges that they have to face. And some of them go through so much they go through. And we can name those in the education sector, we can name them in the health sector, we can name them. Just the other day, we heard the nurses talking about the challenges that they are faced with, shortage of nurses, and they have to be there to man all these hours with 2 nurses in a ward, and you got maybe 20 patients there, and this one crying out for that, and these are women who, stand there. Of course, men have their role to play, but tonight we're focusing on women. And it's just amazing how sometimes we don't get the kind of recognition that we ought to have, because we're women. And it brings to mind this song that says, my mistakes are not worse than yours, just because I'm a woman. And this is how, this is how men see us, as a weaker vessel. So when we try to stand up to talk about stuff, they turn around and they look at you, and like the old folks would say, or they talk to you, used to hear long ago, they would tell us, they want to double bank you. But I want to say to us that there are 2 very outstanding and distinguished women in this country. And I think women must come out and speak out for these women. And I'm talking here about the Chancellor of the Judiciary and the Chief Judge. Both of them have given distinguished service to this country. They have been overriding so many challenges to have reached where they are now. And they've been in this position since 2017, acting in these positions since 2017. I've seen the 2 presidents of the CCJ coming out and speaking out about it and saying that they should be confirmed. As a matter of fact, I've seen the opposition leader, the Honorable Aubrey Norton, giving the green light for these women to be confirmed in their positions. But we know the PPP. We know how wicked and vindictive they could be. You see, they like to hold things over people's head and just keep hanging it, dangling it in front of you there. But I want to hear from our female attorneys. We must come out. You must come out and speak a little louder for these women. They have done this country well. They have done us well, and we must talk about them. We must give representation for them, speak on their behalf, and ask this wicked government, when are you going to confirm these two women in their positions? Too many of our leaders in this country. I remember, I think you mentioned it earlier to me, Genevieve Whitened.
Yeah, she acted. Yeah, she was a great actor.
Genevieve Whitened,
Yes.
in the education sector, retired as an actress, sorry.
Yes.
Retired as an actress. And you know, and that happened again under the PPP. Why is it that the PPP seem to think that women are not valued? Look at the way they treat women. Strip and slap.
Oh, yeah.
Throw out to the matrimonial bedroom, lock outside. Dharamlal talk about dildo. Then we had the allegation with the rape.
Yes.
I mean, we had Kwame who assaulted MP Sarabo.
Yes.
I mean, but yet women in this society are overriding
the challenges.
Yes. And we are still standing tall.
Yes.
I remember myself when they almost tried to electrocute me, you know, with the things that they were saying, where I got monies from for buy this vehicle,
yes.
Oh this, oh that, oh the other. Barajagio spoke till he couldn't talk anymore. As a matter of fact, I had to tell him, send a message to him to say, hey Jagio, I am going to be the milk in your coffee for the next year or so. But this is how they see women. But I'm thankful that we would have had strong women who were able to override the challenges so that they can be our mentors. Of course, I can't forget people like Viola Burnham and Janet Jagan and all of them, Shirley Field Ridley and Cicely Baird. Yes. We can't forget those women. Those women have done well for this country. We can't forget those women who were shot down by colonial police too. Yes. They stood up there in the gap for us. And so women continue all the time to override challenges. Women continue to override challenges. And it's because of these women that our society is still balanced. Yes. And it can still roll on. But, I mean,
it's quite appalling because we know for sure that the late Janet Jagan stood up in the struggle for women. Yet, the PPP administration failed to recognize the struggle of those women. And so what they try to do is try to shut the voices of we who stand up and speak out.
Well, you know what? I was talking to a real big guy in the PPP government, in the PPP party, and he's one that has been shut out. And he was saying to me just the other day, he said, don't worry. The PPP has now become a cult. CULT or CULT, whichever one. And the cult leader is Barajagio. And so he has been pushing all the old guys in a corner or the senior guys in a corner. And what is most destructive is that he would have deviated from the ideologies of Chelly Jagan and the PPP. Mm-hmm. So it's get grab, get grab. And you don't care how the ordinary people feel. You don't care how many women you step on their toes. But tell us something more about your challenges, Kimon. I know that as a teacher, moving up from one stage to another, I don't know.
Moving up, going through the channels, of course, it wasn't easy. I have faced many challenges. I remember at one time I was, what's the word? Superseded. But I manage. Mm-hmm. All because, somebody didn't like you. But that did not give me any reason to step back or sit down and say, I give up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I overcome. And here I am today, still looking to go further up.
And so these are what we have happening in our society today. Superseding of persons, persons fighting women.
Yes.
But as women, we can still override these challenges and make our contributions, make our voices heard without any fear of
Without
being
fear.
victimized.
Shaggy has a song that says "Strength of a Woman." I love that song. Really love it. It has been proven that we women, our strength, have been tested time and time again. Yet we have been standing.
Even when some of our women folk, it's sad, eh? Even when some of our women folk join with the males to
Yes.
crush other women.
Yes.
We see some of these women standing tall. We see them going through the fire and coming out as pure gold. And it's because of the strength of those women we are standing here. And I heard you mention Avril Crawford.
Yes.
And that, and she indeed was an outstanding woman. I remember the challenges she faced in the trade union movement. But again, as women, we have got to understand that when our women folk do wrong things, we have to say that it's wrong,
Yes.
but we must help to fix their crowns. Rather than throwing their
Yes.
crowns off, we must help to fix their crowns.
Very important.
And so I want to say to Priya Manik Chan tonight, I can help you fix your crown, girl. Don't worry, I can help you fix your crown. Yes, but these are some of the challenges that we go through. I've seen outstanding women in politics, like I said, in education. We've seen some very, very good female doctors and female attorneys. We did mention two just now, but there are so many others who are overriding these challenges and they're making headways. We see some of our doctors who are making headways. We have Dr. Cummins, and we have there's Dr. Zana Court, and we have Dr. What's her name? I can't remember. She's at the Georgetown Hospital. Very, very, very courteous and helpful doctors who we have there, and they understand that they have a commitment to do what they have to do. So even when they are shut in a corner, Dr. Boville, even when they're shut in a corner, they can still rise above some of these challenges. Even when they're crowded and everything seems to be falling at them, they can still stand and recognize these challenges. But I know, Ms. Gentle, we talk about overriding challenges, and we were very broad on it. But I noticed that you were very, very active within the Guyana Teachers Union as a teacher. Of course, you're a member. But tell us what's been happening with you in the GTU, and how what's your position there, and what.
Okay, great. I am the secretary here, Central West Bank, Branch 5.
Well, Central West Bank, Branch 5. Big up to you. Big up to you. You have the secretary right here.
Yes. Ever since I've started my teaching career 18 years ago, I've joined the union, and to date, I have no regret. I love the fact where I can stand and represent my fellow colleagues in education. I'm very vocal. I'm outspoken. Each his own, and we all are unique in our ways.
In what we do.
But there are teachers who need a voice, and I see myself as a voice for teachers who may be fearful to come forward to speak on issues that are affecting them.
It's always good when we can have teachers who can speak out, teachers who are not fearful that tomorrow morning the education office is going to call them to tell them, oh, you were in that program and you said this. It's good that we can have teachers who can speak, and teachers who can speak when things are right, teachers who can speak when things are wrong, teachers who can stand up for other teachers. And Ms. Gentle, I want to applaud you for what you've been doing, and I know that you have quite a lot more challenges that you'll have to face, because I know in school you were faced with, I guess you didn't want to talk about it, but you're faced with the challenges of having to deal with our children in the school, all the rules and the regulations and the policies that the ministry would have put down. You can't do this, you can't tell them that, you can't tell them that. Our children are out of order. The long braids that the Ministry of Education are allowing our girls to wear, and they're telling you, oh, hairstyling got nothing to do with learning, but you see, they're not in the classrooms and they don't understand those challenges that you face. And of course, you have the parents to face up with, because the parents, they've been given the green light to go to the Department of Education. As soon as you do anything, they got to the Department of Education, and rather than the officers, trying to find out and standing up for teachers and getting the stories right and coming up with a resolution, they try to trample on the teachers because
Yes.
they want to look good in the sight of the parents. Maybe you can talk to us about some of those challenges. If we have a little bit of time, you can talk about those challenges, and then
Those policies, in my opinion, they are open those doors for continued disrespect to teachers. I mean, given children, we no longer have the authority to groom children for the world of work, because the main fact that they're able to go to school anyhow. Recently, I've asked a question: do schools have rules? Are those rules actually in effect? And if yes, how so? Because the policies that the ministry have been sending out are now overriding the rules in schools. And so we have a problem. We have a problem. There is a problem. The hairstyle is chaotic. The hairstyle is chaotic. How can we groom our children for the world of work?
I saw just the other day a young lady. Is it St. John's College? I can't remember if it was St. John's College, but she had braids way past her waist, going right down to her buttocks there, long braids. And I am wondering whether that's not a distraction, not only for her, but for her classmates. Because I saw them walking, going down the streets, and the attention was on the braids. The attention was on the braids. I know back in the days, there was a code of
Yes.
conduct. Let me put it in that way, where our boys had to have their hair in a certain way,
yes.
groomed in a certain way, and our girls groomed in a certain way. But I noticed the Ministry of Education has thrown all of that out.
Yes. Allow me to share an experience.
Sure.
I remember in 2012, I went to work. My hair was orange. And the then DO told me it's against the code of conduct, and I was sent home.
So you were what, a teacher then?
A teacher. I was sent home. Mind you, recently I saw a child at school. Her hair was red, full red, fire red, and open. I simply asked the child to
Wow.
kindly pull your hair together. Remember, I was sent home as a teacher.
Wow.
Now the policy allows children to wear their hair anyhow, any color, and we cannot speak to them as a teacher.
But teachers are not allowed to do these things.
I was sent home to get my hair color. I'm coloring black and return to work. Is it double standard?
Well, I don't think they got any standard.
Okay.
They probably got a rule for teachers, a code for teachers, but with parents and the students and the pupils, you allow them to get away with all kinds of things. But as a teacher, tell us what are some of the things you expected? What are some of the changes you would want to see in our school system?
I want to see teachers being able to teach with love, out of love again. But because of these policies that the ministry have been bringing out, it has caused us as teachers to just teach because we have to go to work. There's no love for the job anymore. The love is dying. We understand that we're there to care for the children, but we are not able to care for the children in like manner in which we want to do, to see them go the right way. We cannot direct them anymore as to what to do and how to do it and where to go. There is a limitation to teachers.
So we know that teachers are regarded as the second
Parents, yes.
for the child. But with all of these rules and all of these policies that are
hindrance.
coming in, it
Hindrances.
hinders
Yes.
you as a teacher from performing those roles as parent, as guardian, as mentor, as as a model. What do we need to do?
we need to review those policies.
We need to review those
Yes.
policies, which means that we have to come back to the drawing table.
Yes.
And we have to have our parents or the community involved,
yes.
and other as a stakeholder and other stakeholders,
Yes.
so that we can, I hope Saddam Hussein is listening to this program, or he has somebody listening. I know I have to say shout out to my very good friend Andrea Premnott. I haven't heard from her in a while, but Andrea, good night to you. I don't know if you went to State House today, if you had your invitation for State House today, but good night to you, and I'm hoping that you had a good Labor Day. If you hadn't, then tomorrow you could pass by GTU, because we still got some, some of the drinks and so on left over. You could pass there. We could have a little thing in the afternoon. But I want to say, to advise, to share that we must stop allowing our children to being adults. You go down the road and you see our girls, little girls, they're dressed like adults, teenagers dressed as if they're adults, and on both sides. And as a woman, we have to those are the challenges that you face as a woman. And you have to be, it's as if they're competing with you, or sometimes you feel as if you're competing with them because of the things you hear them say, the way you see them dress. So it definitely means that the welfare department of the Ministry of Education, or the departments of education, there needs to be a overhauling of that part of the sector, where we can go out there and teach our young boys, teach our girls, so that as women, we don't have those challenges that we face in the classrooms when we step out there to teach. Kimon, it's always a privilege to have our teachers, to have teachers talk with us. I'm hoping that one of these days we're going to have even more teachers coming to speak on this program. You see, on this program, we don't only talk about politics, we talk about what's happening every day in this country that we call Guyana, our home. If we hadn't loved our country, then we would have been in other parts. I know that I saw just the other day, the UK is recruiting teachers.
Yes.
I am just keeping my fingers closed like this, because I know with what has happened over the last 29 days when we were in the strike, our teachers are overwhelmed. Our females have lots and lots of challenges. And I am thinking that many of them will want to jump at the opportunity, because for them it's going to be greener pastures. And I can't hold anything against them, because we all want good for ourselves. And as women in the teaching sector especially, we find lots and lots of single mothers in the teaching sector. And of course, they want to have something good for their children. They want to see their children comfortable. They want to be comfortable. They want to be able to build their home. They want to be able to drive a car. And teaching here, it doesn't provide that kind of scope for you. And so, these rules, like we said earlier, we'll have to revisit them. We have to talk about the way our students and our pupils dress. Of course, we have to talk about the way our teachers dress, but we've been imploring upon our teachers all the time about their dressing. But of course, you always find a little runaway here and there. But like I'm noticing one of our viewers saying that the hairstyle is not of the private schools. They don't have a hairstyle problem in the private schools, so why are we allowing it in the public schools? And so this is the question that we've got to ask.
Yes.
This is the question that we must answer. This is the question that we must put on the paper and allow the discussions to happen around, so that our women folk are not going to be faced with those challenges. And I said earlier, we have challenges in every sector, but women have been able to override these challenges. I can tell you, in the trade union movement, It's not easy challenging some of our giant men in the trade union movement. But as women, we are able to slide and talk around the issues and debate issues in a different way. Sometimes sometimes when the men expect us to be aggressive,
Yes.
we are not aggressive. We
Yes.
sit and we listen, and then we make our little jottings, and we argue our points, or we defend our submissions in such a nice, calm, subtle way that sometimes they didn't even realize what we're saying, and they buy into it. But these again are challenges that women face all the time, and our women folk have overridden those challenges, and so many of them can stand tall as champions now for us, younger women, to emulate.
Yes.
And Kimon, it's quite a privilege to have you here. I hope you're going to come back another time for us to talk about some of what is happening in the schools. You've traversed many schools in terms of you were placed here, you were placed there, you were placed there. So you stand on a better platform to tell us, well, what happened here, what happened there, to compare.
Yes.
And to give suggestions about how things can happen. And I hope Saddam ain't got nobody who gonna be taking down everything that Kimon is saying here tonight, and then he gets sent to Kimon's school to say, well, why you had to say this, why you had to say that. The only way we can fix things right is when we talk about them. And we're not talking about you, but we're talking about what is happening in the system and the issues that we need to have corrected. So don't, y'all touchy, very touchy, and y'all taking everything personal. Again, I want to say good night to all of you who have been watching us. I want to give shout out to our teachers and all of our workers who are out there today. Again, Labor Day is not only May 1st, but every single day is Labor Day. Every day we labor. The only person who don't labor in this country is Barrett Jagger and Joseph Hamilton. Those are the only two persons who don't labor in this country. Even Priya does try a thing, even when she write wrong up thing on Facebook, even Priya does try to labor. But them don't understand what labor means. But we are going to ensure that we work to make this country of ours a better country, and our country, we are going to enjoy the benefits of the oil wealth. I know that the theme for today's Labor Day March,
galvanizing and mobilizing for workers' empowerment and share oil wealth.
Yes, so we're gonna continue to galvanize and mobilize for workers' empowerment, so that we can share, we can benefit from the oil wealth that we are having in this country. Is not no one Guyana. Y'all don't tell me that it's a one Guyana. Don't bother with the madman. I will tell you about one Guyana. It cannot be one Guyana when you're beating up a businessman, a young helpless businessman. It cannot be one Guyana. It cannot be one Guyana when we're seeing a pattern of only a certain set of people receiving contracts. It can't be one Guyana. It can't be one Guyana when you, the president, traveling every 2 minutes, you're traveling out of this country and you can't pay teachers, you can't pay nurses. It can't be one Guyana. It cannot be one Guyana when we having blackouts all over the place and certain people got solar panels and they got generators and they can enjoy life. It cannot be one Guyana. It cannot be one Guyana when our teachers and other public servants in Upper Mars got to pay so much monies for basic commodities, and you in Georgetown here, you don't even go to the markets. Barry Jack, you know when last he went to a market to shop, he probably know about walking through, like Stabrook Boulevard, we just be walking through, and wherever else, more the market side, he walking through. He know about putting his hand in his pocket to take out the 5,000 to buy some 3 pounds of chicken and borrow and squash and callaloo. He know about that. So it cannot be one Guyana. Don't tell us about one Guyana, because it's not one Guyana. Miss Gentle, we're going to take your closing remarks before we wrap up this show. I know that our viewers are there and they're listening, and I'm sure you saw some of the some of the comments there coming from them.
Thank you, Madam Coretta McDonald. I would have been happy to swing myself and enjoy that slogan, One Guyana. But it's very unfortunate until all Guyanese are able to enjoy equality, then there is no one Guyana.
There's no one there.
There's actually one people, one nation, and one destiny.
Yeah, that's our motto.
That's our
And we would hope that one of these days we would indeed be one people, one nation with one destiny. I know that we have, we have the issue of the Venezuelans. I noticed that died down when we were talking about Esquivel is ours, Esquivel. And you see, that's the problem with us. We jump up for 2 mornings and then we gone flat again. You know, I was happy when we had the issue with Venezuela, when Venezuela, Maduro was acting up there, where our students and our pupils got a chance to learn the national songs. Even some of our adults didn't know some of those national songs. But what happened? One day blow. Like today, big brunch. Until tomorrow, teachers hungry, nurses hungry, policemen hungry. Where you gonna give them after then? Irfan Ali, Priya, Joseph Hamilton. You got a whole host of industrial accidents happening in those workplaces. Workers working for long hours, all kind of thing happening to them, and you can't say absolutely nothing about it. Nothing you could say about it. You know. Nothing you could say about it, but you joining with the oppressors to oppress our people in this country. You're joining with Charles Ramsden and them to do foolishness. I ain't no Robeson, but I ain't know what you're going to do about it, because you wording got no weight. I know the Prime Minister wording got weight a long time now. I know that. And this is not about Miss Kimo Gentle. This is, I have to say what I have to say. We know that the Prime Minister wording got no weight, none. I know there was an issue at GP. There's an issue with a contractor from GPL. He was contracted to provide service to GPL. They took away all of his men. All of his men they took away. And the Prime Minister makes some big call and talking roughing up the CEO, somebody at GPL. When the man go back there, the man tell, when the people go there, the CEO tell them, you got to come to talk to me. He in the hay. I just got to talk to me. Wherever he says, done. So, we got no one Guyana. Skank come, me perform, me gone. We got Born Boy tonight. We got Busy Signal. We got Tanya Stevens. I know who else are here. We got the Godfather, Masha Montano. I know if he did the show too. I think I heard somebody say that. But folks, y'all gotta get smart. We ain't got no one Guyana. And we rich, but we yet poor. We rich, but our people are still hungry. And this government must understand that. Don't run out there to preach this and to preach that. Look, I see they're going to do the boulevard there by in All Boys Town. That old boulevard that they're going to do. Hurry up and make tables and seats and so on. By 2 days after they broke up, hurry up, work. But you know what? Lots and lots of our hard-earned taxpayers' dollars gone down there because it was poor mixture and all of that. Don't talk about the cemetery road. I think they still got spiritual forces there affecting them. I want one edgel go out there. One edgel I want go out there. You must go out there and stand up. I don't know where they get this thing from that ministers got to walk around to see construction work done and this and that and inspect this. Minister, you know a thing about the construction work going on there. Why they go and fix Bamia Primary School? Is how much more money is they asking for to fix complete Bamia Primary School? Plenty more money is they asking for to fix Bamia Primary School. Hey, you see all them monies what they're giving away there? Are they gonna find it? Are they gonna account for it? All them monies, and let me tell you, we got Parliament coming up just now. They're gonna come with supplementary budgets. But we gonna want to know if, and are waiting to see if any supplementary come in, because remember the PS education said, Kimon, there's no fiscal space in the budget right now to cater for the proposal that GTU submitted.
Yes.
So I'm waiting to see if they're gonna submit a supplementary budget to deal with that, to pay teachers and to pay nurses. But I forget to tell you all this one. Judge Kisoon, a professional, you can't stop him, handed down his judgment in favor of the teachers. And you, boy, the brightest of the brightest, he eat them lab books till he get bright now. He decided to go into the government will appeal that case. Hi, teachers. November, December, January, or sometime, they're going to make an announcement sometime earlier to tell you whether the election's going to be January or November or December. You better know where you're putting your X, because the judge handed down a decision to say it is wrong for you to stop the deductions of the teachers' dues, because you did that because you want to cripple the union. It is wrong, and you were being discriminatory. You were maligning the union. You tried to tarnish the reputation of the general secretary. You can't cut the teachers' pay. You see how wicked these people are? They want to cut teachers' salaries. Just like what they did to the nurses in Linden, they cut the nurses' salaries in Linden. And even though the judge ruled against it, they decided they're not paying them. Just like this is Barra Jagdeo here going through all the time. Barra Jagdeo is supposed to pay some monies to MP Annette Ferguson, and all he doing is twisting, turning, appealing, going, so coming back. So they just feel that they can keep oppressing the Guyanese people because they want you to be stooping up to them all the time. Look, we ain't got time for this nonsense. You see the road in South Rumveld there? Y'all fix it. Fix the road in South Rumveld. You see them roads where y'all starting and stopping. Look, I'm going up the East Coast and you're driving, blap, you fall down. You drive a smooth part again, blap, your wheel kicking up, because the road, they're not smoothing the road. They do a little piece here, a little piece there. Like, gosh, one edge here is little piece you like. Do it smooth. If you like little piece, do it smooth. The roads are not smooth anywhere you go around this place. And then we got, I got to talk some other stories while our women are overcoming their challenges. I got to talk some other stories. When we finish, we got the roads, we are finishing them. We got the story with the generators, we are fixing that. We now got the boat we just touched down. I hope we don't hear no sad story about that boat. We got, oh gosh, all these roads that these contractors asking for more monies. And you know why that is happening? Because it's friends and families. And so I'm seeing one of our viewers is saying, fix the road in South Rumveld before the rain starts. Yes. Fix it. It's a horror to drive through that place. And we want little patch thing. Y'all fix the thing good. You're doing all this little patch thing because you want to give another friend it to do tomorrow. Why Edgel don't want to inspect the road on the East Coast, the Rupert Craig Highway? All there as soon as before you reach the conversation tree, after you pass conversation tree, is up, down, blam, blam, blam. How do you fix these things, man? Before you turn, air finale on a plane. Before you turn, this one gone so, that one gone so. Well, you're really doing, keep the monies here and fix this place. I know why Jagdeo not going. I want Jagdeo go. Jagdeo must go. Jagdeo must travel and go to the States. Jagdeo must travel and go. So I want Jagdeo go. Jagdeo, you go and travel. And then when you're done now, and you want to talk about, oh, this person this, and that person that, and the other one. Don't miss Kimon, you know the story.
No.
You know they tried to tarnish the general secretary of the GTU.
I know.
You know how they tried to lambaste and said the strike was political, but I'm happy that the judge was able to rule, yes, and he was able to show GTU strike was not political. But you know what I learned? That the workers at Rosal Estate and Albion, that they're striking there. Yes, I ain't hear the Barrett Jagdeo say anything that the road, that the strike there is political. I ain't hear he say so. Edgel, go and fix the people road in Beefield Sapphire. Go fix it. I keep asking myself, why these people think you're doing a favor for the people of this country? Huh? You're not doing these people a favor. That's your obligation to fix the roads. It's your obligation to fix the schools. It's your obligation to ensure that we have proper water and proper lights in this country. Smooth flow of lights and electricity in this country. That's your right. It is your obligation to ensure that we got proper health care in this country. Well, don't talk about health care. Health care is a big money-making thing now. Barajagio and them prefer to send people across to all these private hospitals rather than to fix the public hospitals that we got. They're not fixing the public hospitals that we got, but they're jumping up all around to build new hospitals. And you check the places that those hospitals, the location for those hospitals, you check it. Why you didn't go down to somewhere like Manchester or Alnis? Because the distance between Portmorant and Alnis and Skeldon Hospital, why you didn't go somewhere by Evesham side for building hospital? You notice? And like I said earlier, sometime maybe last week or the week before, you're putting up 4-lane road, from Palmyra to Corriverton, Molson Creek. But you shock out New Amsterdam. Again, you're shocking out New Amsterdam because I guess the people there, maybe they don't vote for you. But if you had sense, you would do for all the people across this country, Miss Gentle. If you had sense, you would pay the teachers.
I agree. I agree. Most certainly.
If you had sense, you pay the nurses.
That is true.
Because we have an oil.
That is true.
The coalition didn't have these monies, but the coalition gave 6, 8, 10, and 12% increases.
Yes.
Old age pension moved from what it was, 7,000, 6,000, something like that, to 17,000, and then it raised again. We all doing? No, the government in building private hospitals, the government contributing to who building private hospitals. Look, if you don't know the story, shut your mouth. Ask proper stories. Ask proper questions if you don't understand. We building public hospitals. We got sites earmarked to build more public hospitals. And we got public hospitals that can't function. X-ray machine in working, ultrasound machine in working, this in working, that in working, the other in working, all kind of thing in working. And you're asking for build new hospitals. It's like with the University of Guyana. Rather than putting the monies into the University of Guyana to make the University of Guyana an A1 top of the line university, we give it out all kind of scholarships to all kind of universities in India, this place, that place, the other, Trinidad, all over, we giving monies to. And we got our own university here that we can fix. Look, we need to talk about these things. We got to talk about them. We got to talk about them. We got to remind our people. While the women are facing their overriding challenges, some women are dying. Some women are dying. The Henry boys' mothers, both of them are dead. Challenged too much. They couldn't override them anymore. They are dead. Their sons are dead. They are dead. 2 other sons in prison. Challenges that women have to override. Some of us, our strength goes sometimes. Shaka Blair. Y'all remember Shaka Blair? You remember Joanne C. Douglas, young university student, or in Boston? Barajagio, fix these things. I know Roxanne can't fix it, because you're the man who controlling everything. Barajagio, get it fixed. Fix the business. You fix this business and we can stop talking. Fix the business. Or in Boston, Quindon Bacchus. The Headley boy, the police sergeant just the other day, another police sergeant just the other day that some of your rogue ranks shoot 80-something bullets. And then they're going to beat up the young businessman in Linden. Y'all got to fix these things. And if you can't fix it, the people of Guyana will have to will force you. Don't bother the gold scholarship thing when they talk about this. That's a heavy load. They're like a goldie, like them goldie, what they just talk about. Because with that gold scholarship, the teachers who are on those programs who would have completed them, they can't be certified up to now. So that gold thing, Miss Gentle, I know I took your closing remarks, but you know anything about the gold scholarship business?
I don't know much about it, but the little I've heard is that persons are still waiting, as you said just now, for the certificate.
Teachers have been complaining all the time. Some of them, the lecturers block them because the language barrier. So they can't understand, and they're not understanding the lecturer not understanding them, and so the lecturer block them because when they send the questions to them, they say they're asking too many questions. Look, these people have been doing a whole lot of foolishness in this country. It's corruption upon corruption upon corruption, starvation, discrimination. You know how many people still got the pink slips in their hand? Plenty people still got the pink slips in their hand. Still waiting. Plenty people still got the pink slips. And you know what? In some homes, in some areas, when they go to a home, they didn't ask for one person. 3 and 4 persons in that one home got the cash grant. I mean, you're talking about your care. Look, I see somebody telling me, Madia Hospital smell like fish, rat, something, all kind of thing. It smell like, and you go fix the place. Where Frank Anthony there really? You know, I said 3 weeks ago, when I spoke about the children that died, I said that Frank Anthony must come out and tell us something. Because there are reports that dengue is going around. The other day I hear you talking something about it. They're always waiting for the last minute to come out. Frank Anthony, if you can't make it, I tell you before, if you can't make it, step aside and allow somebody else to do it. It is disgusting. And we've got to fix these things. The gold scholarship, we must fix it. And you stop giving money to all your friends. The health care, we must fix it. Now you see they're bringing in nurses from Bangladesh. They can tell you they're bringing in teachers just now. They can tell you they're bringing in teachers just now. Parents, you got to stand up and talk about that. You're bringing nurses in, but you're sending out the ones that we got here. The experienced ones that we got here, you're sending them away. The same things. You're doing all kinds of things for our teachers to run away so that you can bring your friends in. Jack, you're going to be on his periods tomorrow. Which one of the period? The 30 minutes period? Full stop. Which one of the periods he can be on tomorrow? Because he's a confused man. He's a madman. Jagdew is a madman. So we don't even bother with Jagdew. But again, let me say the issues, Kimon, are real issues.
Yeah.
We want them to conform the Chancellor of the Judiciary and the Chief Judge.
Yes.
Conform those two.
Yes.
And then all the other women that we're facing challenges. Yes. We want you to fix the business of the teachers, fix the business of the nurses, fix the business of the Guyanese people. Because as is, Guyanese people are now second-class citizens in their own country. And so you see this, I want to tell you, you see them floating while you just throw over the neck and stripping this, whatever you call it. You don't have to do those things. They're not gods. It is their right to do for you. And so, folks, we're going to close tonight because we want to share with you that video of that young businessman. It's disgusting.
It is.
And it angers people. It angers people. Persons are getting upset when they see that thing there. It is disgusting. Very, very disgusting. Very, very disgusting. And we got to stop this kind of police brutality. We have to stop it. It is not doing us any good, and our people will not take more of that. Our people are not going to take more of that. because it is very, 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 very humiliating. Let me see if I can get our operator to show that video. I'm trying to see where it is. But it's very
Are you
disgusting.
looking for the video?
Very, very disgusting. I don't know. Operator, you want to send me something so I can send it to you? It is very disgusting. The nonsense got to stop. Well, CPC is another story. We got to talk about that story another night. CPC is another story. Have you seen those letters that we've been seeing coming out, there? Those letters, it speaks volume. 594, it speaks volume to what is happening at CPC. You know, when persons talk about at CPC, is a whole lot of supersession taking place at CPC. And you know what Priya is doing? Priya is putting all her persons in some strategic places because they want to have total control, dominance, so that when the teachers union says strike time, they have their persons there, so the teachers are going to be scared. This country is being run on fear and dictatorship. That's the order of the day. Fear and dictatorship, that's the order of the day. The CPC graduates, I'm so sorry for them. When they said that the folks with the 1,700 that graduated the other day, it is a fact. It is a fact that many of them did not complete the program. But Priya said that to happen, so it happened. Those are the allegations that are being let out there. And I'm sure the letter, I don't have it. I don't have that letter here with me, but I'm gonna share that letter with you one of these nights when I come here. The letter that was written by Miss Stevens, I think it is. And she's talking about all the administrative issues there. All these kinds of nonsense that are happening there. She's talking about them. And I want us to be able to share all that is happening here. Education in crisis, women in crisis because they got so many challenges that they got to deal with. Health in crisis, the police force in crisis. Nothing is happening for those at the fire service. They ain't got equipment to work with. The Guyana Defense Force in crisis. Barajaglia, when you come on your program tomorrow, tell us about the investigations with the helicopter that crashed. Tell us what the report is saying and what went wrong. Tell us about that one. We've not heard anything about it. And so, folks, I want to leave you tonight. I can sit here all night and talk to you, but Miss Gentle got to go. So, Miss Gentle, again, let me thank you for being here. We're going to talk some more on what is happening here in this system, but police brutality has got to stop. So, folks, have a good night. God bless you. I'll see you again next week for more on advancing the cause. Women in challenges, or women faced with challenges, and women overriding these challenges. And the citizens of Guyana are faced with lots and lots of challenges, and they are going to have to override those challenges. Just watch this video, and we're going to have to call for the resignation of a couple of persons, because if you can't fix it right, this is what we will continue to have, and citizens are going to retaliate one of these days. Operator, it's all over to you. I don't know, you can bring it up a little closer for us and maybe widen that. I don't know. So you see what is happening? You see what is happening there? They have a helpless man on the ground, an armed man on the ground. They're coughing and kicking away at him. And you notice the police ranks are quarreling among themselves. I mean, they're probably saying, oh, look at you. They're abusing, look how they're abusing each other because they recognize that they were wrong. But folks, this is what Guyanese people have to go through here in Guyana. This is what our Guyanese people go through here. And so while we have this one, we had Siobhan Eastman, the young lady from Mocha, that was chained, handcuffed. You know, she was in the mud. The police had his knee on her back in the mud. This is what happens in Guyana. But like our callers are saying, long time done, short time left. Have a good night. Take care.
Good night.